Hey there, it's Rob Ryder, and it's Monday, February 22nd, 2021. And in the continued search for some form of remedy or relief from the prison planet that we live in today, we're going to talk a bit about the body politic. But for those who, maybe this is the first video of mine you've ever seen, it's not the first video I've done. And if you went to Rob Ryder, ROBBBRYDER on YouTube, there's close to 400 of them now over, 8-year period or whatever, 8, 9, 10. I don't even want to know, Lord, how long I've been doing this. But here recently, I did these last series of videos, classification, assessment, tax, right? And then the ones that are newer than that, because you can sort by upload date on YouTube. And what I've shown in those videos, here's just a typical example of the prison planet we live in, that this whole idea of real property tax is not a tax that's even going to the state. Now, in Michigan, they're using state tax forms, but they're counterfeiting them, and they alter them, and they do all sorts of things, right? And they're foreclosing on property that has a different name of the owner and a different name of or a different legal description than what is on the warranty deed of the person who says, well, that's my property. Right? So they put your name backwards. They say taxpayer, or actually, I call you the interest holder. Right? Is, Smith, Dana R. Right? In the example I'm using, where the guy's name is actually Dana Reed Smith. And on the warranty deed, it's Dana R. Smith. Right? So it's not Smith, Dana R. That's not the name on the warranty deed. But even more telling is that the legal description used on the warranty deed doesn't match the legal description used on the taxes that he's paying taxes on, or anybody else's as far as that goes. All you need to do is go look at your warranty deed, the thing that you say makes you the owner, and compare it to what's on your tax bill. It'll have a different style of name and a different legal description. Now, as I said it, in these videos, especially this last one here, where I took it to the sheriff now, all this information, to see if they would do something with it. Right? And, waiting to find out. But what needs to be done is, in Michigan, there's a thing called this Land Act that I'm talking about here, where it says in there that if your legal description does not reference in a thing called an assessor's plat, ASSESSORS, assessor's PLAT, plat, not a plot, but a plat, right? Then the conveyance is defective and you cannot use it to transfer property. Well, your warranty deed doesn't have that on there, right? And as I showed the video, and I know that they're not recording these things, because on the ones in Michigan, they put a revenue stamp on, which shows that you paid for the stamp, but it's never been canceled, which shows that they never finished the transaction. And you're supposed to be able to go to your assessors or to your township or to the, whatever the municipality is, and say, hey, you guys need to do an assessor's plat. And I'll be talking about that more in another video again here soon, but I had come across this information here in the last week that, was revolutionary to me. And, it's this understanding of what a body politic is. That instead of me as a private individual trying to go to the court to open a case and complain about this, or to write to the FBI and complain about it, or to whoever, right, that it should be being done by this civil division of a state for governmental administration. Right? So somebody, in other words, the body politic should send the complaint, because the body politic can sue and be sued in its name. So let's look at this a little bit, right, from the political angle, not the private civil, but political, right, pertaining to policy or to the administration of the government. Political rights are those which may be exercised in the formation or administration of the government. They are distinguished from civil rights, which are the rights which man enjoys as regard to other individuals and not in relation to the government. Well, we need to stop there, right? If you got a complaint against the government, You can't say it's a civil rights issue. It's a political rights issue, right? And the place to take your political rights complaint is to a body politic. A political corporation is one which principally for its object the administration of the government, or to which the powers of government or a part of such powers have been delegated. And so, as I don't know if I said it this time or not. I've started this video 3 or 4 times now, so I'm forgetting what I've said when. But some of the forms of body politics, then, that besides a county, which is one, right, and a village is one, and a fourth-class city is one, but it didn't mention townships. Again, I'm talking strictly Michigan here, right? But it did mention all these fraternal organizations, like the Masons, and it mentioned certain Protestant churches, like the Methodist Church, Evangelical Church, right? That it's right in there. They're written into the laws of Michigan that these are body politics. Well, then they can complain as the government, to the government, right? And, again, because I believe we're under a military government where, governor, so in Michigan, Whitmer is not the governor, right? She's unqualified. She omitted taking one oath of office required by federal law, and she counterfeited the other oath of office required by state law, right? She hid her full legal name, da-da-da-da. She is not the governor of Michigan. Michigan is under military rule, as all the other states are and have been since the Civil War, because martial law was declared in the District of Columbia for the United States by President Lincoln. Has never been rescinded. And under the Lieber Code, which was written during the Civil War also, it's in Article 2 says once martial law has been declared, it requires a special proclamation or a treaty of peace to end. And those things haven't happened. So, right, if we want to exercise the administration of government, we need to do it politically, not civilly, right? So we need to go to the body politic, and they sue, and that makes you like the relator. So let's go on here. The language used by the court, now this came out of one of the things I read about, trying to figure out what a body politic was, right? Establish the definition of a county. A county, according to the court, is a body politic and corporate. A body politic is a civil division of the state for purposes of government administration. Well, that's pretty dang clear. A body corporate is a legal entity. Okay, well, then in a private law, a corporation is a legal person. Also stopping for a second, then a body corporate's not the same as a corporation, because a corporation is a legal entity. A body corporate's a legal entity, and a corporation is a legal person. A county is a legal entity or corporation of a special sort, and with a public function. As such, it can buy and hold property, sue and be sued, and enter into contracts, all functions necessary to make its work as a body politic effective. And an entity is, a being with existence. As opposed to a legal person, because, a corporation is an artificial person. It doesn't really have them. It's not a being. I don't even know if you can say it exists. It's artificial. Excuse me. But nevertheless, right, to sue and be sued. So it's the body politic that can sue and be sued in its name. And so, in my point of view, then it can write to the Army and say, hey, we got a problem here in the government, right? That all these people that are pretending to be the government haven't taken a proper oath of office. Or however we need to structure the complaint. I'm just saying, it has to be done through a body politic. So besides a county, well, what else is a body politic? That's what we're going to investigate. And, is a body politic and corporate the same as a body corporate and politic? Because they use it both ways. And, for myself, I'm going to say, well, yes, it's the same. They can both do the same thing, right? As long as you can sue or be sued in your name, and you got body and politic in your description, well, then, that's what I want to use. So that's the idea to try. But before we get there, um, I wanted to point out, did you know, right, that September 23rd, 2017, plus 1,260 days is March 5th, 2021, which is like the day after the Constitution says the president's, supposed to be inaugurated. Right? It was originally March 4th, I believe. And this thing was September 23rd, 2017, just, real quick, because this kind of stuff is what makes the world go round. Right? That's when the lady in Revelation 12 shows up in the heavens. Once every 7,000 years. It happened on that date. And you add 1,260 days, which comes out of Revelation, right? That the woman fled into the wilderness to a place prepared for her by God where she might be taken care of for 1,260 days. Well, that means after 1,260 days, she's coming back from the wilderness. And, she's coming back with her child. So, this is Revelation 12 just all being played out in front of us. Well, if that's the case, then something will happen on March 5th, 2021. It's the day she returns. And I'm Staff Sergeant Robert Allen Rutluski, United States Army veteran. You can call me Rob Ryder. Call me Rob, right? But unless you're the government, well, you can call me Staff Sergeant. And my email address is quarterrecord@AOL.com. Phone number 616-712-6179. And it is your donations that keep the lights on. So please donate if you can. PayPal is robryder@AOL.com. Or you can stick it in the mail to Robert Allen Rutluski, 10955 14 Mile Road Northeast, Rockford, Michigan, 49341. So let's get going on this journey here, and let's see what else is a body politic. Give me just a minute to load a few things up. So, in Michigan, if you go to the Michigan legislature website, right, www.legislature.mi.gov. Oh, sorry, hang on a second, please. Okay, so, and I did a search on the word politic, right, and it came up with 163 hits. Let me go back here one more page. All right, Michigan compile laws, basic search. Just come down here, but keyword politic, and you'll get 163 hits. I have all sorts of things. See here it says county, right, and village, and there's fourth class city, and you got port authority. And if you went and opened up each of these, you'd see them talking about being body politics. So, well, then you can also put in, like here, you put in the word church. Well, if I could spell, it would help. But, go back and do it again. CH. Let's see what we got under church. All right, Methodist Episcopal churches. All right, a body, politic, or corporation by the name expressed in said article association. Right, that's what they are. They're a body politic. What else do we have? We got the Westland Methodist churches. Right, they're a body politic. We have the Methodist Protestant churches, right? They're a body politic. So, if you're a member of one of these churches, right, then you're already in the right area. Your church needs to write the freaking complaint. Right? Whatever it is that we're complaining about the government being screwed up, well, the church has something to say about it. Right, here's Protestant Episcopal churches. So for whatever reason, there's 4 different styles of Methodist churches listed in here. We got the Reformed churches in America. All right, so I got evangelical churches. So if your church fits within this definition, then your church can act as a body politic. It has a part of the civil, government authority given to it. United Missionary Churches, right? Body politic. So, that's some of the ones that can be. Who else could be? Right? Well, these are all the fraternal organizations. Right? Got St. George's Society, Sons of St. George, St. Andrew's Society, St. Patrick, Ancient Order of somebody. Who would have known there were all these um, societies. Right? Got Order of the Eastern Star, Masonic Association, Masonic Lodges, Sons of Industry, Knights of Labor, all sorts of things, right? If you're a member of any of these or know somebody that is, well, then they're even the Eskimos. What the hell is this? Eskimos. How come Eskimos authorize a corporation to grant and subordinate council of the Eskimos and to impose certain duties on the Department of Commerce? Now, this is the other thing. Some of these entities and especially this fraternal organization, they have to also register with the Department of Commerce. So, why that is exactly, I don't know. But anyways, I'm just showing you to start with that all sorts of places could have the power of a body politic. So hang on just a second again. Okay, so let's look at this one, right? Methodist Episcopal churches. What did it take, right? Articles of association, execution and acknowledgement, filing articles and certificates with the Department of Commerce, members of a church as a body politic or corporation, right? All that is there for this Methodist Episcopal Church under Act 11 of 1899. It's written into the laws of the state of Michigan. And it says, said articles of association shall be executed in duplicate and acknowledged before some officer authorized by law to take acknowledgments of deeds. One of such duplicate copies shall be retained by such corporation, and one shall be filed with the Corporation and Securities Bureau of the Department of Commerce. When said articles of association and said certificate of presiding elder shall have been filed with the Corporation of Securities Bureau of the Department of Commerce, the said person so signing said articles of association and their association and fellow members of the said church, and all who may thereafter become members of said church according to the discipline, rules, and usages of the Methodist Episcopal Church, shall thereby become and thenceforth be a body politic or corporation by the name expressed in said articles, with all the powers, rights, and privileges appertaining to religious corporations by the laws of the state. All right, they made them a body politic. But to do it, you need to file the paperwork with the Corporation and Securities Bureau of the Department of Commerce. Now, is that federal or is that state? I'd do it with both. I'm not going to, I'm not going to have to make that decision and say, well, I missed one. I just send it to both of them and get them both to agree. But, there's the process. Now, hang on again. Right, here's another example. All societies, unions, and associations of tradesmen and laborers actually existing and conducting their affairs under the Constitution Articles of Association may become a body, corporate, and politic for the general purpose of this act upon filing a copy of their Constitution of Articles of Association, Society, or Union verified by oath of one of the executive officers of the society, association, or union in the Corporation and Securities Bureau of the Department of Commerce. All societies, unions, associations, being corporations, as above provided, shall be subject to the provisions of this act. That's very, very interesting, right? I'm going to have to look this up a little bit closer. I'm going to go do it right now. Hang on. Yeah, as is often the case, where it says Corporation and Securities Bureau of the Department of Commerce, right? When you go to look for that using those words, it isn't what you find, right? Corporation and Securities Bureau of the Department of Commerce. Instead, you find this thing called LARA, right? Which is the Licensing and Regulatory Administration or some BS like that, Licensing and Regulatory Affairs. right? So is that who they're talking about, or is there some federal entity that they're talking about, for this right here? But I mean, that's how close you are from being a body politic, is figuring out where to send your damn paperwork to. And they summer resort owners, right? They're a body politic. Cemetery corporations, they're a body politic. What else I see in here? Things like dairymen, right? There's all sorts of things that can be a body politic, right? And so there you are, right? Well, one of them is a county. So what's interesting in Michigan, and this is why we need to find our answer to this, is because the county is one. And this is what it says. So this is the revised statutes for Michigan on counties, right? That a county, each organized county shall be a body politic and corporate for the following purposes, right? Da 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 da. County property. This is the thing that'll get you. All real and personal property heretofore conveyed by any form of conveyance to the inhabitants of any county, or to the county treasurer, or to the governor of the late territory of Michigan, or to any committee, trustee, or other person for the use and benefit of such county, shall be deemed to be the property of such county. And all such conveyances shall have the same force and effect as if they had been made to the inhabitants of such counties by their respective corporate names. Right? So, basically the county's claiming all your property is their property. Right? It does say, right, for the use and benefit of the county. Right? So this is the point now, if you go to court for any type of legal action, all they're ever doing is writing bonds on the court case. They're bonding the court case for X amount of dollars, whatever it happens to be. Right? Well, that's them conveying your property to them. And then you sign in a piece of paper agreeing. Well, now it just became county property. And if you go look at a county's comprehensive annual financial report, or CAFR, C-A-F-R, right? You can find them online. And you look at all these different funds that are being funded. Like Kent County, it's got hundreds of millions of dollars stuffed into these different funds, right? That was money that came from collecting it from people, right? That live in the freaking county. So they're not using it for taxes or anything. It just goes into the fund. And that's the same with with this thing with the property tax. The property tax isn't going to the state. The state is not the one that's foreclosing on you. In reality, as the homeowner, you have interest in the property, but you don't have title. The title's being held by the state. Right? And they're supposed to transfer the title to you when you put the transfer stamp on the warranty deed, but it's never been completed. And they've not ever completely recorded the deed. They may have filed the deed, but they haven't recorded it because the deed doesn't have in its legal description a reference to any assessor's plat. And the assessor's plat hasn't been done, and that's why you have a different legal description in your document than the assessor is using. But if you don't go do something about it, well, they're going to use the assessor's information. And so we're trying to, go complain about themselves as our own person, but we don't have to. We should be able, if we're a member of any of these body politics, they should be able to do it for us. So, so there was all sorts of them on there, but one that came of interest to me was they have this one that's called the this under natural resources, right? The soil conservation districts. And we'll just read a few of these. So let's look at some definitions. Board, right? Conservation district board means governing body of a conservation district. Okay, that's simple enough. Compliance assistant agent means an individual who provides technical assistance to individuals, organizations, agencies, and others to aid them in complying with federal, state, and local conservation ordinances. conservation species. Department means the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. I thought it was going to be the DNR, Department of Natural Resources, but no, it's the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. The conservation district means a governmental subdivision of the state and a body, corporate, and politic, organized in accordance with this part for purposes with powers subject to the restrictions set forth in this part. Right? It's a governmental subdivision. Well, that's what a county is. It's what a township is. Right? It's a governmental subdivision. So if you're a member of this and it's a body politic, well then it should be able to file your complaint for you. Or you file a complaint with them, and then they go and investigate or whatever whatever it is they do next. But they have the authority to do it. Government or governmental includes government of the state, the government of the United States, and any subdivision, agency, instrumentality, corporate. So this conservation district represents all forms of government, simply because it's a governmental subdivision and a public body, and corporate and politic. Landowner includes any person who holds title or is contracted to purchase any land lying within the district. Well, that's what most people are. You don't have the title, but you did contract to buy. They have your warranty deed, right? They've never filed the damn thing, or they never recorded it. And you can tell if you just, go to the Register of Deeds office in Michigan and ask to see a copy of your warranty deed. It'll have a transfer stamp on it, and it won't have been canceled. Well, that means, that the state didn't get paid, so they didn't transfer the title to you. The state's still holding the title. Okay, resident means a person legal age to vote who can demonstrate residency in the district with one piece of identification. Well, that would be your state ID, which has on there what county you're in. Mine says Kent County. So, right. So I have in my case, there's a conservation district for Kent County. United States or agencies of the United States includes the United States of America, the Natural Resource Conservation Service, the United States Department of Agriculture, and any other agency or instrumentality, corporate or otherwise, of the United States of America. Right? All that is run through this freaking conservation district. Okay. The Declaration of Policy, Conservation of National Resources. I'm going to say, well, that's us, right? Protect the tax base. Well, that would be making sure that we have the proper legal description so it can be properly taxed. And protect and promote the health, safety, and general welfare of the people of the state. So, and here I'll show you in just a second, they have all sorts of powers. Additional powers to secure the cooperation and assistance of the United States. Well, that could be the Army. And any of its agencies. Well, that could be the Army. And the state and any of its agencies. Well, that could be the National Guard. In the work of the districts to formulate policies, procedures as the department considers necessary for the extension of aid in any form from federal or state agencies to the district. All right, so they must be in charge of the federal funding. Where did I have here? Okay, the board is responsible to exercise the powers and performance of the duties of the conservation district under this part. Hang on a second here. Okay. Powers of district and board generally, right? A conservation district organized under this part constitutes a government subdivision of the state and a public body, corporate, and politic exercising public powers. And a conservation district and the conservation district board has all the following powers in addition to powers otherwise granted in this part. Right? To conduct surveys. So this is the thing. Your legal description on your warranty deed is different than the legal description being used by the township to tax you. Then I want a frickin' survey, so we're all using the same legal description. Because on a proper survey, a cadastral, C-A-D-A-S-T-R-A-L, cadastral survey, which would be the same as far as I can tell, an assessor's plat, right? One of the items on the survey is the owner's name of the property, right? They had to put your name on it. Then you'll be the owner, right? That's your deed. When your name's on the frickin' on the survey, which is a map, X marks the spot, and you're claiming that's your claim, basically, right? This rectangular piece of, or whatever the shape ends up being, a property, well, then so be it. Right? They have all the powers to enforce that. What we need to do is make sure we're all using the same information, and we're not. So they can coerce the assessor or the local municipality into doing it. Where was the big thing here? Sue and be sued, right, to act as compliance assistant agent for other federal, state, and county laws. Right? They're the compliance assistant agent that can facilitate making those laws, so this isn't just laws to do with natural resources. This is other federal, state, and county laws. Like, did that person take the proper oath of office? Who's pretending to be a judge up there at the county courthouse? Or the one that's trying to take your property in a foreclosure. Right? On and on and on. So, this is a developing storyline for me, but my point is that here it is, right? Agencies of this state that have jurisdiction over or are in charge with administration of any state-owned lands and agencies of any county or other governmental subdivision of the state that have jurisdiction over or are in charge of administration of any county-owned or other publicly owned lands lying within the boundaries of any conservation district shall cooperate to the fullest extent with the district in the effectuation of programs and operations undertaken by the district under this part. All right, so it's a powerful, powerful thing. Now, I don't know that, the churches and so forth don't have the same authority. It's just written more broadly here. But if you're a member of a church that has a body politic associated with its proper construction, right? You file the paperwork in the right place and so forth. Well, then, you have most of these powers too. So that's what I'm looking at now, right? Is this soil conservation district? And let me see. Well, this is the state, right? This is the Department of Agricultural Rural Development. So that's we'll go back and look at that real quick. Yeah, okay. So here it says department means the Department of Agricultural Rural Development. Okay, well, Google that, and well, there is one, Department of Agricultural Rural Development, just the way they said it, which, that's very unusual to find something named, as you just saw when I tried to find the commerce thing. It, it doesn't have the same name, but this department is the same name as what they're talking about in the law. So that's encouraging. And then it says the district or conservation district means a subdivision of the state and a body politic and corporate and politic, a public body, corporate and politic, organized in accordance with this part. Well, I believe for me that's what this is, right? This is the Kent Conservation District. And the Kent Conservation District, well, it's got a board. Right? Now, I don't know. Does that group of people, do they look like they're socialist or, is there a chance there's a patriot in the bunch? Maybe there's a bunch of patriots in the bunch. It just takes one. They all got the same powers. Right? They're the board of directors, and you can volunteer to be on the board of directors, right? So maybe they have even more sites, but then you could be one. Or I can be one. Right? They have associate directors. So how they did this and how it ties into the law exactly is yet to be determined, but as long as it's all copacetic, then, you can become a body politic? By becoming a director. Because what we need to do, right? Here's the problem, right? The county is a body politic, and the county is saying your property is their property. And the only way to, change that once they get you coerced into signing the damn piece of paper or whatever their strategy is to get you to do these things, right? Like a court case, or a foreclosure or whatever it is, when you're going there, the judge did not take an oath to satisfy federal law, and he counterfeited the oath to satisfy the state law. The same as the governor did, the same as I've been showing in videos time and time again, right? This is just the way it is. So they don't have any authority, but they're going to get you to sign a piece of paper or whatever it is they're going to do to pretend that they're you and act like you gave it to the county, right? So when they come to kick you out of your house and they send the sheriff, right, he's going to say you abandoned the property. And, it's going to become county property. They're going to use this section of state law that says, well, if, conveyed by any form of conveyance to inhabitants of any county, so you have a warranty deed that conveyed it to you, they're going to say you gave it to them. Right? Because you abandoned the property. Although none of that's what happened, but that's what the government sees, right? Because the court case isn't being done by the government. It's being done by esquires who are, enemies of the United States, who are simulating a legal process under color of law in a private tribunal and have taken you into a tribunal where your rights to due process are going to be violated. Well, apparently we can't go complain about that directly ourselves. We need to go to a body politic. And that's the idea. So, well, that's really all I wanted to say today. Was this is something new and interesting, and you might want to go check your state for the word body politic. Right? Every state's going to have their laws online somehow, and just what I started with was just the word politic to start with, and I got 163 hits, and you could spend all day looking at them, right? But right there's county, village, fourth class city. Well, those are the things you think of as, the government. But then all these other things are the government also, including the churches, right? Kalamazoo College, State Hospital. What was that? Great Lakes, I just saw it. Great Lakes St. Lawrence River Basin Water Resource Compact. That's what Rosita was talking about yesterday. Here it is, Rosita. There it is. Let's see if it says it's a... Look at all that. Someone there must say it's a body politic, though. Let me look it up while we're here. I'll find on page. Body. Right. The Great Lakes St. Lawrence River Basin Water Resource Council is hereby created as a body politic and corporate with succession and duration of this compact. So, does that mean it's any more a governmental agency than any other body politic? I don't think so. A body politic is a body politic. It has authority to act as the government. Right? And we need to use that. Eskimos can act as the government. Right? These lodges can act as governments. All of these things. The Mystic Order of the New Kabah. Order of Herman's Sons. I've never heard most of these things, but apparently they exist. They're in the laws. So are the churches I showed you, right? So the churches can't complain. They're in the laws. It's just, please go use it. So let's leave it there. Okay. You'll have a great day and be back soon. See ya.